So picture this: a bustling sales floor with people walking by each other's cubicles, cutting it up, talking about what they're doing this weekend, talking about the big wins they just had and the great calls they just got off, swinging by your manager's office to ask them for some advice. And then all of a sudden, in the next scene, poof, all of that is gone. We're a remote sales team. There is no office anymore, and you're having to operate in a new world. All of that casual social interaction where you're gathering advice and information about the deals that you're working has now disappeared, and you're solely relying on your CRM system. Now, there's a lot of information out there on shifting to remote selling. For a lot of companies, remote selling is not that different. They've been doing it for a while. They've been selling over Zoom. They've been at least having initial calls and demos over remote platforms. But there are some big things that have changed in terms of managing your sales team, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about some resources on this topic that I posted for you in the description of this video. These are not only going to help you turn more leads into revenue, but give you more visibility into what's working and what's not in your sales process, as well as help your sales team use your CRM and sales tools more consistently and keep your data clean. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Paul from Pipeline Ops. Today, we're going to talk about three big things that have shifted dramatically in the era of being a fully remote sales team. The first one is coaching. Whereas before you could walk into your manager's office and say, hey, I'm about to go into a call. They're asking for this. How would this work? Or I just got off a call. Can you listen to it and give me some advice when you have a moment? All of that has shifted. The cadence in which you're managing a sales team is not what it was. There is no office to swing by and pop your head in and say, hey, do you have a free minute? You are completely operating off of set calls, sales team calls, and what's in your CRM. So from a management's perspective, the cadence in which you need to check in on your salespeople and review their calls and give them feedback has to be more deliberate, and you have to do it more regularly than you did it before, because before it just happened organically because you're all in the same place. The second element is accountability. Now, there is this stigma with remote selling and remote workers in general, that how do you know that they're doing their job? And this is where you need to set up your lead management framework correctly in your CRM to not only make it really easy for your salespeople to log their activity and to keep track of their leads and keep their information accurate, but you also need to have those metrics set up. So from a management perspective, you know at a glance that the leads are being worked, the calls are being made, the outreach is being done. Before, you could just walk up and down the aisles, the cubicles, past offices, and you knew that people were on the phone, you knew that people were there working. Now you need the metrics in your system to report that for you. And it really always should have been set up that way, but it's even more important now. And it's easy. It's not a burden on the salespeople. And from the manager's perspective, VP of sales perspective, CRO's perspective, you have confidence that things are getting done and your process is being followed. And the third big shift is lead intelligence. Before, you could just yell, hey, James, two cubicles down, did you talk to this lead last year? Or didn't you work with somebody at this company? Or didn't you know somebody at this company? You don't have that anymore. So you need to use the collaboration tools inside your CRM to find out, to get those answers. But more importantly, you need to rely on data inside your CRM, which web pages they've looked at, what forms they filled out, what offers they downloaded, what they filled in those forms, to compile the story in a way that you didn't have to do before. You're going to go into, in the end, you're going to go into sales calls smarter and more prepared, because you can make smarter assumptions about what their needs are, what their situation is, what their pain is, than you could before, when you were just kind of relying on this, being buoyed by being on the sales floor in your office. So coaching, accountability, and lead intelligence, and the way sales teams are managed has dramatically shifted, even though the act of selling online might not be new to your company.